who have never heard about myself, um, I'm originally from Nicaragua, a tiny little country in Central America.
Oh,
And I,
Gus, let's if you're going into your presentation, let's
yes,
wait for more people to arrive because I think yours
okay,
is going to be really special. I want to make sure. And
okay.
Magdi, will you verify for me? And I am Gus's moderator today, right? With guys with helping me. Is that am I okay? Thank you.
Yes,
I
yes,
don't
correct.
trust I don't trust myself. No, but
Okay.
Gus, we
Oh,
usually have a little chit chat for the first 5 minutes to give people time to come on.
so
But now,
I'll wait.
did you want to show the the
The
Turing
pictures.
machine
Yeah,
before?
yeah.
Was that part of your presentation? Because that would be fun to see now. If it's not part of the
Eh,
presentation.
actually, I booked this exhibition like a month ago, and then today and this week because I went with my colleagues, with two of my colleagues, and I said like, gosh, uh, that exhibition about artificial intelligence, and then in the afternoon the presentation. So I said that's gonna be great. Uh, um, it was mind blowing what I saw today. It's unbelievable. It was a part. Uh, One of the section is they have a speaker, and the closer you get to the speaker, the sounds start to go through your mind, like, and you can feel it that it's moving everywhere. I mean, it's coming from different multiple directions, and the speaker is right in front of you. But that was absolutely mind blowing. That part, and then there is another part that you get close to a camera, and then uh, suddenly, um, like geometric figures started to display it in front of you, and it's your body with all the cells and all that. It was just unbelievable, really amazing. I really enjoyed it.
I love to go to places like that. We have one here in Boise called the Discovery Center, and
Hmm.
it's really great for the kids to go to. The centerpiece is a pendulum that's huge. It's the pivot point is like 30 feet in the air,
Yeah,
but it changes direction with the rotation of the Earth. And so from the time you first come in to the time you leave, you can see how it was going this way and now it's going this way
yeah,
according to
yeah.
the length of time. It's like a clock for the rotation of the Earth. It's that they have a lot of things like you're describing, but not AI centric. And it would love to
Uh,
go to those places and take my kids there.
it was really beautiful. I mean, um, I was not expecting to see that machine there because that was like a surprise. And also it was a section as well where they were using spatial data, and they were explaining, and it's like a short video, and they were explaining how the Chinese Communist Party is using artificial intelligence to control the people. It was mind blowing. I mean, the whole thing it was coming when it's Sean come from Leicester to Liverpool. You're gonna love it. Uh,
I would love to see
it
it.
was really amazing. Uh, Let me see if I had sent these pictures now. So
While he's getting those pictures up, I want to explain something exciting that's going to happen for me on July 2nd.
mhm.
Jaya is going to be driving through my area with her family, and we're going to
Nice.
go out to eat. So if any of you are driving through Idaho, USA, even if you can't pass by my specific area, I will drive to meet you. I'm very excited to have a meal with Jaya and her family. So we'll take some pictures and stuff and write a post. But any of you are welcome to drive through. And of course, if I'm on a big road trip, I will let you guys know. I'm eager to go see the Farrakhan's and even David Langer, the R pirate, and uh, and then of course Ben Taylor's not too far from me either. So we even were talking about the possibility of putting a Northwest USA conference together. Of course, we'd make it virtual too. Okay, do you have it ready, Gus? Go ahead and share it if you do, the picture.
Yeah, just 1 minute because it say they've been sent, and I can't see them on my email.
Okay. You know, we
Uh,
can come back to it. It's more than 5 after now, so let me kind of give you an intro, and then I want you to fill in the blanks. But I
okay,
wanted to give an intro from the perspective of
okay,
my relationship with Gus.
okay,
I want y'all to know, anytime any of you call me dad, it's a huge honor to me. Um, I had this vision of collecting orphans from all over the world. I've only adopted 5 kids. My wife and I should say, have adopted 5 kids legally, but none of you are non-legal, or none of you are illegal, excuse me. You're just not legal. You're spiritual. And of course, Val's my sister, and Dennis is my brother. Dennis wouldn't even allow me to call him big brother. He's so humble. And so we're so glad that Private is here today with us. That's Dennis Rodman. And but the point being, when Gus started to call me dad, and then he started to ask my permission, could I do what you're doing for Nicaraguans and where I'm working? I said, Gus, you don't need my permission, and I'd be honored to help you all that I could. Well, then he started to share with me. In fact, I said, just go ahead and call yourself Integrated MLAI of Nicaragua or whatever you want to do. I'll support you. Well, he took that and ran with it. And guys, we're already starting to see a replication of what we're doing. But I would say Gus is doing it. I, how do I put this? Gus, you know, when you say you're trying to be like someone, but then when you say emulate, to me, emulate means you've taken what you've learned from them and you're doing it even better. Gus is being a real man. I'm not saying those of you that aren't doing what Gus is about to show aren't real people, aren't real tough people, but Gus is really taking our spirit and really living it. And so I was so excited to have him share what he's been doing, because it is just um, it's blown me away with pride. So I better stop. Guys, do you have anything to add before we let Gus fill in the blanks?
I have nothing to add. I want to enjoy listening to them. So let him start.
Yeah. So
okay,
Gus, please tell us more about yourself. I know
okay.
that you're Nicaraguan and living in the UK, and so that's why we have this cool accent we're hearing. But tell us more about you.
Oh, okay. So, I I come from this tiny little country in Central America called Nicaragua. It's beautiful, um, with a lot of panoramic views and nature and wildlife and all of that. So, I studied business management first, with a minor in tourism. Tourism was something that eventually was going to be the thing for my country. So I thought this is the thing. Uh, I never had the privilege to work in tourism or marketing. Uh, mm, I started in accounting, my professional career. Suddenly, I made a move to the telecommunication industry. I used to work for one of the giants in the world called Telefonica. Here in the UK, it's called O2. This is a Spanish company. If any of you had seen it, it's Telefonica, Movistar, or something like that. Uh, I think that, and I will always praise that my data career belongs to whatever I learned from them. I spent 15 years with that company, and I have the privilege to work in logistic. When I work in logistic, I have my first contact with data. I remember seeing the first Excel spreadsheet, and I remember seeing one of my colleagues dealing with some pie charts and things like that, and I was like, "Wow, what's that?" and all of that. Anyway, uh, I learned from him. Then I applied for the job in finance. I went to finance, and in finance I spent a year. But that year in finance wasn't that nutritious, I would say, uh, because I didn't play with data in the way I played with data in logistics. But finance was a year that I learned from the people around me because I was with the expert. And we're talking about that it was the time that data was exclusive for finance only and senior management team. So I used to see all these experts dealing with complex dashboards, data mining, things like that. And I was like, what's this? What's that? Why are you doing this? And that? So my curiosity led me to understand and learn. And this is something that I've been sharing recently with friends, um, my apprentices. I mean, nowadays I teach, right? But before I want to move to that stage, I want to say within finance, a project in commercial was going to happen. One of my former classmates from university was working in commercial, and he said, like, look, we have a big project. We want you on board because they knew that I was that I have a lot of experience with spatial data. So they said, like, we want you to be on board on this project. So I moved to commercial, and in commercial, I developed all my data career. I started as a business analyst first, and then it was when we started to establish all the procedures and everything where we're going to collect and gather all the data. My profile was becoming more data analytics. In the end, I was a data visualization expert, where I spent nearly 12 years, as I said. It was really amazing. By the time I left the company, it was the time that I thought that it was not challenging anymore. And I needed a break, actually. After 15 years, I said, like, I need to stop this, right? Actually, it was a mistake, to be honest, because I could have learned more. And it was the time that I used to come and go to Europe every single year. I studied an online course in the University of Manchester, and I make friends here. And then one of them said to me, like, you should come here. I think there will be more challenges for you here. Anyway, long story short, now I teach in the apprenticeship industry in the northwest of the UK. I'm in charge of two courses. One is business analysis, information system business analysis, and the other one is data analysis. To be honest, I prefer more the course in data analysis because it's more aligned to what I learned from you, all of you from LinkedIn. So when I said to my dad, I remember, I will never forget this. I sent him a connection request, and I said, like, and possibly to many of you, my message was, I would like to add you to my network because I would like to learn from you. I would like to gather information of what kind of things you do, emulate it, and then transfer it to my apprentices. I mean, I call them learners because they are learning from me. And I did the same with nearly, the vast majority of this community. I mean, I remember before I contact Tom, my network was something like 100 contacts. Now it's getting close to 400, and I'm getting more connection requests. I don't share a lot of information on LinkedIn, but I'm very close to do it. I'm getting close to finish an article. What I'm going to tell you about is my presentation is going to be this. I try to use the structure of the data lifecycle to describe a data learning journal, because this is what's happening with my learners. So I said creation, analysis, publication, and then, archival, and then you delete. But actually, I'm trying to make the most when I get to the point that synthesis, analysis, and publication happen. I'm dealing with a lot of professionals that they've been like in their job for something like 10 to 15 years, and their companies are pushing them into the digital transformation, and they don't have a clue about how to deal with the data. So the 60% of my learners come from the National Health Service in the UK. Recently, with the pandemic, they have been on high demand of information, and their people are not ready to deal with massive amount of information. So at the moment is I'm doing like a one-on-one session with a group of 26 people. But I started this week. I have my first live online session with 6 learners. It was a challenge. I never thought online to. I mean, I did it, but it was one-on-one. But having 6, I was like, God, I was crossing my fingers. I was feeling nervous, and I was sharing everything that I learned. As I said, whatever you share there, anyone. For example, I get a lot of information from Ravid. He shared a lot of information that I'm using it. I have made my learners to read Gilbert Campbell's book, People Skills for Analytical Thinkers, because a part of the program is like they need to develop soft skills. I read the book, I read it. And when I finished it, I said like, I'm not going to stress myself. I mean, Gilbert did the job for me. So, and Gilbert kindly gave me digital copy because I told him like, look, I'm dealing with learners. I was trying to make a deal with him, saying like my company is willing to make a deal and something like that. But he said no, digital copy. So nearly all my learners are out of the journey in people skills for analytical thinkers. Some of them has joined the kind of enthusiast that I have about LinkedIn. Said to them like LinkedIn for me is not just the way they see LinkedIn is like you get there because you're looking for a job or you're looking to make connection. And I said actually, LinkedIn for me nowadays is a source of information. Actually, it's like a free school because you get access to free things. For again, I'll quote Ravid because Ravid is sharing information all the time. That is a part of the things that this program needs to cover, which is data concepts. So I get them to watch all the conferences. They have watched that a couple of times. They have watched God, mi amiga from Milan. Sorry, Joanna. Yeah, they have watched her because she's dealing with soft skills for data analytics. So the experience is really enriching. I'm doing let's say I'm facing a challenge. I mean, for me, this is a big challenge, and I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. My partner is like, you have become a sellout now. I don't know if you're familiar with that word, but you say like it's like a born again Christian talking about data all the time. Everything is data. Early on, when I came from that exhibition, I was sitting there, and he said, "Why are you thinking?" And I said, "I'm sorry, but I can't stop uh, thinking of digesting information because the information is flowing through." I mean, and after being that exhibition, when I saw that in there, I was like, I mean, I need to think more. I mean, I need to collect more information. So, what I want to share is like this challenge came after losing my job, and I was kind of frustrated in the first 10 days when I lost my previous job because I couldn't get any opportunity. I mean, just to give you an idea, I sent 295 applications till I get it. And it was like something that I would like to quote last night in this How to Get an Analytic Job, where Harper was sharing his expertise. Someone said, like, how do you get at least an entry data analytics entry level? So the guy said, like, well, you need to apply for them first, right? So that kind of let's say tenacity, patience, I mean, not giving up. I mean, sending 295 applications till I get the interview. I was like, I mean, it has to happen. So I was applying for actually jobs related when I was going to be dealing with data as a data analytics, but as it didn't happen. But then I said, hey, okay, hold on. This previous company that I was training, and I mean, they gave me the chance to display it on my profile that I was a tutor. So I said, like, okay. And I remember that it was a guy on LinkedIn who was chasing me when I was working for this previous company, and he wanted to land me into another company as a tutor in what it was called digital skills, and basically was helping people to become virtual. Let's say create an account, control finance, banking, paying things, and all that. So then I said, one of the things that I remember this cert, like, I think that was like a couple of months ago, Adrian Fletcher, when he shared that book, how to get a job after 50. One of the things he said was apply directly to the company, target the company. So what I did was the algorithm was playing for myself, and suddenly that company came on my screen, and I said, like, I mean, this is tricky. I mean, I was thinking of applying for what's it called, to a data analytic job, but this training education came on board, and I said, I'm gonna go for this. I mean, I'm riding the horse already in the training education and all of that, so I'm gonna go for it. So I applied, and I remember, I mean, as I said, 295 95 application, and this came on board, and it was like quick. First interview on a Friday, second interview on Monday, and third interview that it was the confirmation on a Wednesday. And they said, like, you're gonna have a challenge. And the challenge was the previous tutor left all the students in a stage of disappointment. So he didn't care about them. He didn't mentor them. He never contacted them. And it was like, they said, like, you're going to have a big challenge. You need to bring back all those learners into commitment, because they were really disappointed. Really, really disappointed. They said, like, when I started to get in touch with them, to know them, I said, like, okay, so I'm your new tutor. I was kind of, I won't say scared, but I was just thinking, like, first, what I need to use is obviously people skills. I mean, how to get those learners from being sad, actually, for thinking like this code is not going to do any good to me because the previous tutor did, let's say, a horrible job. He didn't care for them. So things that said, it's all about care. So in this case, my customers are them. The things that I need to look after are my learners. So I started to care for them. So I started to say, like, come on, let's talk. Tell me what are the things that that you want to get from this course. I want to understand your plan. Let's work out this together. You're gonna make it, because these people in these apprenticeship programs, they get experience, they get pay. I mean, by the end of the apprenticeship, they get a qualification from the British Computer Science. It's an awarding body. But slowly, I got them back. They are happy. They are learning. Again, I'm sharing what I learned from you. I use Donabel. Thank you for being in this session. I use your videos for data visualization. Seriously, as I said, I mean, all of you are my reference, because what I do is like I signpost them to watch, to read contents, to watch videos. For example, I have one guy who's really advanced. I mean, he's now dealing with Python. I mean, I started to learn Python recently, but he's advanced. I can tell you, oh, he's flying. He's doing a lot of beautiful things and all of that. And I said, like, look, you need to follow this, this and this and this and these profiles, because they're sharing Python contents all the time. So, but the thing is, what I'm using is your help. Whatever you share, I use all your contents with my learning. I signpost them to you. And I always say, I belong to a data community. I'm learning from them. I don't want to sound like the data freak, but I want to aware you that is to make you aware of that there is people there out there sharing knowledge and content. I mean, and they don't want any money from you, obviously, because I remember that when I said to my dad about founding the data science Nicaraguan society, whatever, I spoke with two guys that I'm pretty sure that they were going to be a great value to the community I want to develop, because my thing is like I want to make everyone aware of we need to embed data into the business or life or something like that. And every time I see that in my home country, just a few know about this, I just think like, I mean, it's gonna be another time that, I mean, they're gonna face a big challenge. So when I talked with one of them, he said like, okay, so let's do it. But what about the money? And I said, excuse me, it's not about money. What I'm trying to set here is like, we want the idea is create a repository with contents and knowledge to leave a legacy. What are you gonna do? I mean, you've been working for the company all your life, and then let's say when you retire, what happened? All your knowledge stayed for them. I mean, with them, it's all them. You don't share it with your community. So this community, what I've been learning from here, has opened my eyes and said, like, it is time to produce and emulate what you do, share contents. How I do it at the moment with my learners, but I'm thinking to replicate the exercise, and I want to bring, like, for example, I come from uh, one of the things that I would like to praise is I studied in what it was with the La Salle brother. I don't know if you heard this congregation. They are like the Jesuits, highly intelligent. So it was a private school. I managed to get a scholarship to study there. And my generation was a legendary generation because the scoring there is from 0 to 100. And I remember the lowest score was something like 89, because we have in my generation a bright guy. The guy works for NSA now. He's there. He's dealing with artificial intelligence. He's creating this kind of like microchip for the ships in the space and all of that. So the thing was, he was an inspiration guy for us. And we said, like, we're not going to disappoint you. We're going to work together. We're going to be the best generation ever in this school. So I deal with a lot of intellectual, and some of them are into this thing. So I said, first, I was thinking of building this society with the people I know. But then I said, actually, I'm making this with people who are like more after money rather than sharing knowledge. So I said, why I'm doing this so difficult? So I started to contact my former high school classmates, and which is this all these people from this generation. So we have started now. We are six, and we are just setting the foundations. And one of them is a guy that I mean, he's highly intelligent as well. He impressed me. I remember he went to Japan to study a master, and he said that he learned Japanese, Nippon, sorry, or Japanese. He learned Japanese within a week. I was like, and he said like it was like being inside a capsule, and he said I was with headset and everything was all in Japanese. It was like sleeping and waking up and listening to Japanese all the time. But anyway, I talked to him and he said, "Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it." Uh, anyway, what I'm trying to share is my curiosity. What I learned from you is working with my learners, and I'm getting some feedbacks from them. I share some of the feedbacks that I received recently to my dad, and one of them. I was like, "This is like the real thing." I mean, it's not like I'm not doing this for salary because, for example, I was applying for two companies. One of the companies that I reject, that it was in Manchester, which is like 40 minutes away from where I live in Liverpool. Uh, they were going to pay me more money, something like £10,000 more a year. But I decided to stay local because first the the challenge of bringing people back into commitment, and also it was going to be about data, and this has been my thing. And I remember in my previous job before I lost it, I remember I used to have a colleague who used to take me to the office daily, and funnily, you won't believe this. When I moved to England, I ended up studying bakery. I do sourdough and I love it. I love baking. I love cooking and all of that. So I remember this guy said to me, "Why don't you set to the bakery? Because you're passionate with baking." And she said, like, just think about this. You have two choices. You love baking and you love data. So if you need to move from this company, you need to think about which one is going to be the one that you're going to go for. And I said, to be honest, I would love to have my own bakery because I like the whole thing of seeing the bread in the stalls and all of that. But then she said, like, yeah, you know you're good at it, but which is going to sustain you more? So I said, I think I better move back to data. And now here I am teaching, helping people. I'm involved in a massive project here in the northwest of the UK, and we are intended to become, yeah, sourdough use data as well.
I was
Of
just going to
course.
say,
Yeah, yeah,
reminds
yeah,
me of the blog
yeah,
post that Manpreet and Abdul and I wrote together, where Ta's son, he realized, I'm going to go do what I love, but I'm going to use data to make it better. Gus, I
yeah,
want to let the family start to ask you
yeah,
questions.
yeah.
This is
Go
a
on.
great story. So let me see if I can summarize, though. You were looking for a job and you filled out tons of applications, and there was a job that just really needed someone that could build up a program again that had failed because someone didn't care. And you
Exactly.
turned things around and went in there and cared. And I hope you all saw the comments I left. I pasted them right into the chat, but I'm going to read them again. Oh, wow, they're way up there now. I just have to read these because I was so proud of Gus when I read these. These are evidence that Gus really does care. Um, Feedback from his learners. Gus has been an incredible support during this module. I really struggled to understand it at the beginning, and he was very patient and understanding with me. He didn't give up on me and provided me with many materials and sessions together as I needed to enable me to complete this module. He was more than happy to support me and provide guidance that I had not experienced with my previous tutor. I'm very happy Gus is on board and is supporting me on this journey. I'm proud to have overcome this hurdle and to have gained an understanding of data modeling with Gus's help. And then another feedback was, Gus, you've been great at breaking down this topic area for me. The knowledge standards are one area that I would like to particularly develop. I am now fully aware of the data life cycle and would be confident answering interview or exam questions on this topic. You covered all aspects and stopped at each stage to answer any of my questions, which I appreciated. Now, Gus, with respect to that last feedback,
Yeah.
when your students had challenges, did you always know how to help them right away? Or did you have to go study a little bit sometime?
I study a little bit. Sometime I study a little bit, but as again, the first feedback is from a learner in business analysis. But the second one is a guide in data analysis program. I found that with data analysis, because again, it's my strength, I enjoy it more being data analysis rather than business analysis, because business analysis, again, is developing procedures, gathering the information and all of that, understanding the stakeholders, anything. Uh, I spend more time on my data career in the data visualization and decision making, changing strategies, developing new products, and expanding our market and our operations based on data. So when I have my data student, I found easier to go ahead without even without planning. I just need to read things. I need to understand what they need to complete. Just read about the industry, because let's say my student works in different kind of industries, so I understand the industry first and what they want from them. And with my data analysis learners, I find it easier to go ahead even without planning. Just like,
Now,
let's do it together.
let me ask you a question I think I know the answer to. How much did your insights, your knowledge, your understanding grow as you started to really care about your students and help them understand things better?
Um, it is a win-win situation. I can see it that way, because it's like refreshing myself about what I learned. I have a break again with data analytics for like 3.5 years. So, but I'm getting that. I'm sharing what I learned before, and I'm learning from them what's happening right now. So I will say it's helping me a lot. I'm getting a wider range of insights because I'm dealing with different industries and different learners. I only have one out of the 26 I have now. There is only one, and she's still on that stage. But actually, I think she's going to withdraw because she's really, really negative. She said, like, I don't think this is gonna do me any good. She's been in this position, in the position she is, for like 16 years, and she said, she's been really negative. I try to, I've been doing my best. I mean, it's like the odd out of 26, only one it's still not engaged, and the others are enjoying it.
Yeah, I
So
hope you're not blaming yourself for that. It's the
no,
old
no, no,
adage,
no, 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 no. I mean,
you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
exactly. And this person is the kind of person to, because they've been in this position for many years, they think they know everything. So, I mean, I don't say things to her. So I just say, like, okay, that's fine. I mean, if you think that you're going to do it better, that's fine. Okay.
Let's
But,
hear Guide's question.
okay.
In fact, I was enjoying the discussion between Tom and Gus, and also the story of Gus. But here, just something comes to my mind
Yeah.
about mentoring or teaching. Let's say mentoring, not teaching, mentoring. Is the mentor should be someone better than the learner, or we are talking about someone who is only outside of the problem? That
Uh,
mean this
that's a
is
good
okay.
point. That's a good point. The mentor, I mean, the way the system has been developed for this industry is like the mentor should be someone with vast experience in this specific topic. In my case, data analytics. And as an outsider, you have a, a, a different point of view, a different thing, a different way of seeing their problems. So sometimes it happens. I mean, you're dealing with a problem, and someone just come and tell you, "Look, this thing is missing," and that's it. Done, done and dusted. I paid a visit yesterday to one of my learners, and he's in the what's it called, this national health system. He was in the biggest hospital here in Liverpool, and he was breaking himself. The poor guy. He was like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. He was dealing with 3 databases, one from the government website, another one from the hospital. And I said, come on, you have SQL. You need to create a relational database. And once you understand your databases, you will be able to create the report you want to create. And he said, yeah, but some names are not the same. And I said, okay, so there is a section that we need to cover that is called data cleansing. So you're going to be doing that as well. You're going to be matching that part of the program. So yeah, as you say, as a mentor, the profile must match expertise, right? Obviously, experience, and also having a wider vision of how to provide solutions to them, help them. So I have let's say there is a structure. We use a system where the program is it's well structured. We have a module that is technical competencies, and they need to know, for example, in what is data analytics is collect and identify and collect data, then clean data, then structure the data, then data visualization. They create reports. They're gonna use SQL, Excel, whatever. A dashboard, present information to stakeholders and things like that. And then there is a section what is called technical knowledge, and it's all about the second feedback I got from one of the learners. It was data lifecycle. That's context. So, as Tom said before, if I study, when it comes to technical competencies, I have to study the industry because all the industries are different. Whereas if it comes to technical knowledge, it's going to be the same. So that thing flows naturally because I know it already. So I plan something, I read something, and then go ahead, I share it. So the mentor, again, the mentor profile is one point you quote. It's like having that outsider vision and also expertise and experience in the industry. I mean, in this case, it's data analytics providing solutions. So, yeah, that's the thing.
It's cool, Gus, what Gaith and I are seeing as we help others, as we continue to write our book and teach our class, as Greg and I go out in the wild and teach stuff together through our presentation we've developed. We're seeing this, Gus, and it sounds like this is what you're saying. Well, if 80% of our work is exploratory data analysis and visualizing, getting prepared for machine learning, shouldn't we be communicating all the value we can back to the organization of that 80% of the work?
Yeah.
In many cases, we're seeing a lot of the feedback you get from that level of data storytelling, even for a data scientist, it's maybe more, it's maybe 80% of the value. So you can predict things. So what? But do you know how to change things so the whole model is better? That's the key.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gus, I want to ask another question though, and then we're going to go to the soupologist time.
Okay.
So the question is, so I remember there was this one class I taught at the university level. It's very hard mathematically. And it was so hard mathematically that I was too chicken to take it as an undergrad. So I waited till I was a grad student to take it. And then thank God the symbolic math packages were out by then. So it was much more palatable. But in that class, it was super powerful material. And I'd see a light go on in the students' minds and eyes. You could just visualize it at about a certain, like somewhere around 2/3 to quarters of the semester it took to get to this point, and they would see the power of all the stuff they had to learn. Do you feel those moments with your students where you see they get it? They're getting value from this. Explain
Uh,
that.
yes. Again, out of the 26, I will say I have like possibly 7 special students, and they have that. I mean, when I talked to them the first time, I mean, in my catch-up session, when I was saying like I'm gonna be your new tutor and all of that, I said like distinction, because they are the grades. The grades are distinction, pass, or something, and immediately said this guy is gonna be distinction. So the second feedback, the comment you made, that's the guy who's well advanced. He's moving into machine learning, and I have an artificial intelligence, and I have referred him to follow Dennis. I said like, go and look for this guy. He's brilliant. You're gonna learn from him, and also, I mean, I signpost them to, I mean, things like everything machine learning and artificial intelligence. I said like these profiles, you need to follow them, because he said like, I'm well advanced. I mean, I'm doing this because I need the certification, and also it was a part of my continuous development program, a part of the company, and he's doing well. But again, he's beyond now. He surpassed the expectation of the program. So I said, like, start following these people. You're gonna your curiosity will take you to something beautiful. I'll say so. Yeah, I can see that. I had six or 7 that they have the spark. I'm working on
Nice.
the other ones. So
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do is like replicate this, create the communities, groups of studies that where these 7 are gonna be helping the others, the weak ones, let's say, or the one who has kind of like difficulties to understand quickly compared to the rest. Yeah.
Okay, so now is the time where we take the great caution to not make Mrs. Rothman disappointed with us. Dennis, your segment of we're not a show, of the family living room. Let's hear your thoughts, Dennis.
Well, thanks, Gus, for sharing your experience. What I see, I listening, I see 4 concepts, and they're very difficult for me. I see like explaining something for me, for example, is not too difficult because I know how to unpack anything complex and explain it to someone like a 6-year-old. That's an ability I have and I've always had. Then comes teaching. I see teaching as a higher level because an explanation is like someone's following me on LinkedIn. Person sees something, I answer a question. That's explaining. Teaching is another level because you're staying with someone for a longer period. So it's explaining with a narrative. And then comes a higher thing. So you guys are at higher levels where you're saying teaching in time, right? Explaining is, I give an explanation, it's over. So then you get teaching, and then you get something higher at 2 levels, which is mentoring on one side and vision on the other. Vision, I have it. So I have the vision. I know exactly where the market is going. I always knew it. 1982, when I registered my patents, all the time. I even sometimes know where the stock market is going, and I've always sold things like 2 months before the others. That's vision. So but mentoring, that is extremely difficult. This is why I don't organize sessions here. You always see me listen, and then I'll explain something for fun, but I can't mentor. See, that's another ability. That's an ability that you have, Gus, that Tom has, that Geith has, but I don't. I don't have that ability. I can't organize the sessions like you're doing for weeks on. I don't have that kind of energy. So it's very difficult to situate yourself and help people the way you can. So what you're doing is impossible for me. I can't do it because I have these short bursts of energy. Like, I don't know, I'll do math. Like today, I stopped math just before the session. I'll do 12 hours of math on one equation, one line, and spend the whole day looking at all the parameters. I have that kind of energy, but then I don't have the energy you have. So I would say congratulations, because without people like you, no one would go anywhere. Because you have to, it's a Peter's principle. You know, it's an old thing where you can always reach a level where you can't do something. You know, you see executives going up and up in corporations, and all of a sudden they get to a job they can't do. I know that I could mentor my children, I can mentor grandchildren, but I can't because they live with me. But doing what you guys do is something exceptional. That's one of the reasons I'm watching you every week. See, I'm watching a show. I'm watching people do what I can't do. I can't do it. So congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
my supology reflection, and I'm making myself shorter. I'm working on not boring people to death when I speak, so I kept it down to like 5 minutes, for 3 to 5 minutes, because usually, since I don't speak, you think I speak, but I don't speak that much. I spend a lot of time meditating on philosophy, religion, math, and then when I'm with people, it all comes out, but it's too long. So I can see that I bore a lot of people. So 4 minutes. That's I told Tom, and so I'll stop there, congratulate you, and listen for another 5 minutes, and then go to tonight. It's not soup; it's pizza with friends.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And
But it's
Dennis,
always at the same time.
you're never boring, but I do confess that sometimes you're speaking at a level where I have to think extra hard, and that may be the challenge. But no, we love you. We appreciate you. You're giving a lot to the community through your books and your encouragement. So please don't slight yourself. We won't accept it. Hey, we're going to take Hugo's question in a second, but I want to give some announcements too. So I'm getting some private, by the way, I'm always paying attention, but I'm dealing with private messages a lot too. And I want to just shout out some things. The Tech Time chat team, the people that almost always show up for Tech Time chat, we want to welcome all of you to that. It is getting richer and richer as we do it longer, but we, as the Tech Time chat group, are willing to move to a different time if more of you are struggling to join at our time that we're doing it. So you remember, I'm USA Mountain Time, and so we're meeting at 8 a.m. Wednesdays and Saturday mornings. Again, we can try to change one of those times. That would maybe work better for more people. Also, we have our pipeline class. Now, if you join now, you can't get credit for being in it, but you can watch the past lectures and catch up to us. We're going slow because we only do one lecture a week, but for some of the questions you guys are asking me, that class seems to be working really well. We're teaching how to do machine learning development and development of machine learning pipelines, but even over time, we'll show you how to automate them. And we're even dealing with the fears like, well, AutoML's out. Is that going to take our jobs? And forgive my French, hell no. It's probably going to enhance the need for your role, because AutoML doesn't deal with missing data or cleansing data. All that's still got to be human effort. It's going to be a long time where someone can do that 80%. For some of the 80% can be done by AutoML, but not all of it. And so those are just some announcements there. Dennis, we always love pre-soup philosophy time. So please show up as often as you can and give us that summary of your thoughts. And don't feel like you got to run off yet. Just when Mrs. Rothman says, Dennis, get your butt up here, that's when you have to leave. So, okay, Hugo, let's hear from you, son.
Okay, Dad. First, I'm going to talk. Dennis, I have two questions for you, Dennis. Then I'll go to Gus. Okay, question number one, Dennis. Why does your display name always read private?
Oh, you're touching, it goes back to what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm a very private person. I know
Okay.
that I speak well, but up to like 2017, you'd never get me in a session like this. I know that I communicate well, but I'm not a very social person except for family and friends. I live in a very private life, and I don't really like to be public. So I am for PACT for the books. They asked me to be on LinkedIn, and all of a sudden I ended up with now I'm almost at 40,000 followers. But I didn't look for followers; people came there. So I'm a very private person and a very simple life and a very private life and. With a small car, a small house, small budgets, nice food, nice wine, nice family. I don't like to be that public. But Tom and Gay, I don't, am I pronouncing it Gayeth or Gus? How do you say it?
Gus,
Guy,
Right.
Gus?
Guy.
Guyeth. So I see all this generosity. So I come here because these guys are so generous, I'm saying, well, I'm going to try to be a bit like them. So, but I can't mentor a session, but I can explain stuff. But I changed it during the session. I put it to Dennis Rothman.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed, but I just
That
couldn't
is a
help here.
huge move. That's a huge move.
And another thing I think is, Dennis, you have an amazing way of explaining concepts. And most times listening to you is like a breath of fresh air because they're like, you're not like every other teacher. And for me, unique is beautiful, unique is amazing. So, and that's why every time I see any flyer anywhere on LinkedIn and saying Dennis over here, Dennis, if you notice, I'm always there,
Yeah, I know.
So
And thank you
yeah,
for
it's for me, it's a breath of fresh air. And
I can
I
give
believe I
you
speak here.
I can give you a reason for this because you're saying secret. Something happened when I was 19. I was walking in the streets. I live both between Paris and in the Champagne region in a city full of cathedrals. And I'm not going to say I'm a religious person in the sense that I'm going to church or a mosque or to a synagogue or to any kind of, but I was walking in the street and the sun was setting and I saw these cathedrals and I said, wow, life, there's this spiritual plane in life that's so important. I mean, all this stuff is meaningless, these degrees and all that stuff. I want to be happy. I want to have a little family and I want to feel, like some people hug trees or they go in the forest. And I found that that's life. And since you've noticed that it's pretty easy for me, artificial intelligence, honestly, is not too difficult. I said, well, I'll spend some time on that. So I spent more time on personal life and on private life than on public life, except that I get drawn by people like you, where I share things. But otherwise, I'd be happy sitting in my garden looking at trees, skies, people walk. I love the subways. People say I get subways. No, I just love to watch people. I could sit for hours on a bench in a subway and just watch people. It's an encyclopedia of people walking around. So that's why I'm private.
Okay, great, amazing. Thank you very much, Dennis.
Well, and thank you, Hugo, because you keep encouraging me. You don't you don't realize that I feel like an ant. I feel like a tiny insect because since you're thinking spiritual stuff, you're always tiny. So when someone gives you some kind of encouragement, you say, "Oh, I'm reaching cat level or dog level. I'm not a spider anymore."
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
it's
Thank you,
time,
Dennis.
guys. So now I'm going to see some friends. A friend I've known like for 50 years. See, and
before you go, I want to show the pictures because I'm sure you're gonna love this. Dennis,
the picture.
yeah, I got them now. So let me see. They are here. Um, just a few of them. Just 1 minute, please. Here we are. Can you all see this?
I can see more than human.
Yeah. I got some pictures.
But I like the image of you, you know, when you were talking.
Uh,
I see this guy that traveled all the way around the world to do something and went through all kinds of things.
If you have multi-screens, guys, there's a way to pull our images off to another screen and then put it in grid mode, and you can expand it to see everyone still.
But you know, Gus, the picture of you is fine because
sorry, but
you went
I'm
from
unsharing the pictures.
We can see you with your glasses and headset,
but not the pictures.
But you're worth more than those pictures.
Actually, I see the pictures, Gus, but it's in an email. I wonder if
yeah. That's okay. What it is. They are in an email.
Scroll
them. Okay, so that's the entrance to the exposition.
Yeah.
And then it talks about artificial neural network, and that was the speaker that when you get close, the sound starts to come from different directions. It was overwhelming, I have to say. Then they talk about this.
Now we're still seeing the same picture, the same
We're hearing you, which is more than enough, but you don't need pictures.
I'm not getting it. Sorry.
Hey, you know what? You're the one that's awesome here. You went from Nicaragua all the way over to UK. You did cooking. You changed jobs. I mean, you don't need to show pictures. You just said everything.
I wanted to show the picture of this Enigma machine from Alan Turing. I managed to see it right in front of me. It's on this exhibition.
That's one of the things I've spent like 30 years on. It's Alan Turing.
I don't understand why I'm not. Okay, I think it's here.
You may be showing the wrong screen.
Okay.
Show a picture of Alan Turing.
I think I hit it. Here it is. That's the machine on the side.
Yeah, we see pictures. Yeah. The machine, you just passed it. Go back up.
That's the side of it, but I got
up on there on the right.
Yeah. So that's where they used to transcript the information from the Germans, but the main machine is here.
That's fantastic.
I was really impressed with that.
Yeah, it's impressive.
I was like, I never thought I was going to see that machine in my life. I mean, I saw the film, which is Imitation Game, but I never thought that I was going to be able to see that machine right in front of me, and it was an amazing moment.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, because I really admire him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
He was a father of so many things, and then like you, Dennis, he had to keep it quiet for so long. We didn't get to learn about him until later, like with you. Okay, now Hugo, did you have a question for Gus also? I thought you did.
So yes, I do.
Going
okay.
now, so thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dennis.
Bye, Dennis.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so Gus.
Yes.
Yes, I have a couple of questions. First is, do you have a curriculum you work with? Was it designed by you, or was it designed by the British, what did you call it again?
British Computer Science.
British Computer Society, yeah. That's one. The second is this, do you have KPIs? How do you assess the effectiveness of the program to know whether you're hitting the program goals? Now, did you come together with your stakeholders to agree on program goals beforehand to say, okay, these are the things we want to achieve. These are the ways we're going to measure it. And then we're going to probably have a dashboard somewhere we're going to be looking at periodically to know whether we're on track or we're not on track. And then another thing I want to ask is, if you have those KPIs, how frequently do you review them? And are they top secret, or you can share?
No, it's fine. I can share them. Okay, so the system was designed by this, the breakdown of the syllabus was made from the British Computer Science Society, I think that's what it's called. We use a web application called OneFile, where the learners, the apprentice is able to see the whole structure of the program. So how I assess the progress of the apprentices, I must have a meeting, what we call this meeting professional development review. So what happened is, that meeting is every month, and normally it's like an hour and 30 minutes, and it can take up to 2 hours. So in that professional review, we have a structure, and in that structure, you ask the apprentice how's work, anything new that you have been learning, you've been involved in the program related to your development of the apprenticeship. But previously, before that professional review, you assign then what we call a target plan, and that target plan must have, let's say, they need to cover a specific technical competency. Let's say, I'm going to quote an example: create a dashboard and a report, for example, a reporting dashboard. So they need to provide a piece of evidence. Obviously, they're not going to send me the whole file because of data protection here. So what they do is they do screenshots, and then they send a document explaining what kind of information we can visualize in the dashboard, right? Once I have seen that they understand why that dashboard was made, what kind of decision the company makes out of this dashboard and things like that, so I can say yeah, okay, ticking this, that, the whole module of dashboards, for example, and also again, those KPIs are measured every single month, and I had a person who assessed me every week. So I receive feedback every week. So this company is pushing you to be better week after week. And obviously we have, there is an entity here in the UK called Ofstep. It is more or less like the company who certify you as a good a training or a teaching company following let's say the standards. So you get a certification when this company comes. So we're gonna have this company coming this week. Everyone is panicking, I can tell you, because it's like an audit, right? They're gonna be watching me delivering a session. They're gonna be watching another colleague delivering a session. Thank you, Jonathan. But yeah, it's I can I could easily show you the breakdown of the program, but again, it's everything is measured by a piece of evidence, and they also need to work on business cases, case of studies. They need to attend conferences. They go, for example, for data visualization. Again, I have learners that they are using Tableau, because depending on the company, what kind of resources they had access to. I had 2 guys that are working with Tableau, and I refer them to follow SQL Donabel, because you're explaining SQL in a way that I would love to do it, to be honest. So I said, please, if you want to learn more about Tableau, go and see her. And also I refer them to, I said, these are the references, see, follow her. And there is another girl, Cristina, the Greek girl in Spain. I think she's in Spain. So I signpost them to follow her as well. So there are different methods. They can make projects. They can make they can produce evidence. They can work on a business case. They can work on let's say, just let me read it. I'm gonna go for it, because I need to make sure that I'm saying. Something that we call is make this portfolio. Okay, so that summative portfolio is like they start to build their portfolio. What more or less like what all these podcasts on all the data professional, for example, everyone recommend you to create a portfolio if you want to be noticed, obviously. So the idea of the way that the system has been developed is like they need to understand that they need to create evidence of the project that they have been involved, what kind of impact their research and the products, in this case, like the reports and dashboard and all of that, have made to that company in particular. Because these students spend 80% during the learning journey. They go on these programs for between 15 to 18 months. And that 80% of that time is with a company, working and learning, shadowing someone, learning from a line manager, or they have a mentor inside the company as well. So the way we assess it, again, is by producing a piece of evidence. So as far as they match, I assign a task saying dashboard, and they present a dashboard, done and dusted. We have a talk, a discussion in this hour and 30 minutes that I have every month, and that's it. And then when we finish that professional development, I assign a new task. I mean, they need to go to match another technical competency. And when they finish, we get them into something. Thank you, Yoshi. We get them into a point that what we call endpoint assessment. So the business analysis student need to provide a synoptic project that in this case, the British computer science assign them, like it's something random, something they don't know what's going to happen with it, what kind of project they need to be involved. And they have something like 7 days to complete it. And once they complete the synoptic project, they get a qualification. With the data analysis course, it's different. They need to complete 2 exams. One is about data tools, and another one is about data concepts. And when they pass those tests from the British computer science, they go to a professional discussion. And in this professional discussion, it's like sitting in front of a jury, so like 6 experts from the British computer science, and they start to make them questions. It's like they need to make sure whatever was provided on all this evidence during the whole year is exactly what they need to say. I need to have a friend. I'll just say thank you, Amy.
All right, thank you, Gus. So,
but that's the thing.
If it's not a top secret document, would you mind to share so that I could have a feel of what it looks like? Is it possible?
You mean the system?
Yes, your documents, your, how do you call it now? The whole system, especially the milestones. The milestones they are supposed to, I believe that one should be open.
I'll show sharing, you.
Like, okay, great.
I'll show you. Just let me see.
What I want to see is, okay, what body of knowledge does somebody need to have before the British Computer Society says, okay, this person is certified in analytics? Yeah, so I just want to see what the body of knowledge looks like.
There is a section of where we do something that we call the initial assessment, right? So we ask them questions. Really, I mean, we ask them basically what they are going to learn. What do you know about data collection? What do you know about data cleansing? What do you know about SQL? What do you know about this and that and that? So if the person score, I mean, obviously, they're going to learn this. So, but if they score something like 40% in that test, we say like, yeah, he's able to go on this course, right? So we use something that we call a scorecard for that. And also there is an initial assessment during the induction, right? And they must have, the requirements are what the British education system recognizes of English level 2, functional skills, and also mathematics in level 2. And obviously when they go for the initial assessment, And the way that the exams is structured, you see complex questions about mathematics. I mean, they make you. I remember seeing the last student I enrolled. It was a question that they have to analyze a graph, and they were complex questions. I mean, business questions, let's say, right? So just let me see if it is loading. Okay. This is I'm gonna share what's the structure for the business analysis course. So again, as I said, there is technical competencies, right? So for example, they need to understand investigation techniques, business process modeling. So for example, this student here, she has completed 2 projects already. Then they need to go for required engineering and management, and they need to cover all those topics there. Gap analysis, acceptance testing, stakeholder analysis and management, business impact assessment, and then the knowledge. How to conduct internal and external environment analysis of domain industry, things like that. So that part of what is knowledge, I have to teach them on a training session. But this, when it comes to the technical competencies, this is something that they go and create. They have to provide an evidence for that. Okay? Is that okay, Hugo?
Sure, perfect.
Okay.
Sure, yeah, thank you.
I found myself just forced to answer Dennis about something, even if he is not here.
Yeah.
Now, first, I'm not a mentor. I'm not good as a mentor. What pushed me to do that, because I know what's happened with Tom when we start this, and I want to be useful. This is the only thing that put me here, and even in deep learning.ai, because I'm mentor there, it's the same, because I wanted the help, so I understand when somebody needs help.
Exactly.
So I can put myself in his shoes, and I can think with him. That means I'm not a super mega mentor or that one that have the wisdom to answer all the questions. No, I'm just only like this. This is why I'm not talking about Gus. Gus, you have the spirit of the mentor already. Tom, for sure, he is my big brother. But this is for what Dennis said. From my point of view, why I'm saying that? Because to mentor somebody or to be a mentor in some situation, even if it sometimes becomes official title, but for me, it's only what challenge you face to be in that place. So according to something happened, you will be there. You will be a mentor for, you don't know why, somehow.
Yeah.
Now, and
wait, sorry, Guy,
yes.
I want to say something very controversial. I remember the word mentor because I like to study etymology a lot. So I remember the word mentor was first used in the movie Odysseus. That's the first time I came across the word mentor, and it was actually when Odysseus, the protagonist of the movie, was traveling. He had to hand over his son Telemachus to a man called Mentor. And that was it was Homer's book that brought about this talk of mentor. So who was Mentor? Mentor was an elderly person, had hair like our dad, Tom, okay? But he was an elderly person, experienced, and he was just to provide guidance and stand in for what Odysseus would have done to his son if he were around. So he was like a resource. He was like a guide. He was like a father figure. And guys, you're doing all that. So it still boggles me when you say you're not a mentor.
Yeah, you go. No, I just really want to say that It's
Right.
easy for someone outside of the problem to give a real guidance for the person because you are not under stress. Me, myself, and by the way, even the last week, I need a mentor. I needed a mentor because when I'm inside the problem, I'm just like any other student or learner, any other person. That means I'm not that much. When I'm talking about I'm not a mentor, that it's good thing, but I'm really, it's a challenge I'm facing, and that's why I'm trying to do that. Now, I don't think this is the situation for Gus, and here's my question for him. Now, do you discover that you have the mentor possibility or you just face it?
Okay. I didn't discover it, to be honest, because when I was at the university, uh, my university used to have a program called support learner. Our role was to help the teachers in the class. So, for example, if a teacher couldn't come to a class, you used to manage the whole session. So I remember I used to support in macroeconomics. That was my first experience. I remember macroeconomic for me was I used to love it. I can tell you that particular subject I used to love it. That was my first experience, and obviously I've been good with numbers and everything related to finance, accounting, mathematics. I mean financial mathematics and all of that. There were my next sessions in the during my period in the university, and then when I used to work for this company in telecommunication, I used to be the person who used to carry out the inductions for sales. So when I was in that position of business analyst, one of my responsibilities was to carry out the inductions. That it was 1 week, and in that 1 week, I have to tell them the procedures, um, everything about regulations, all the code of conduct and all of that. So it used to be 1 week. So so I knew it. I mean, and I always been like that. I mean, I was a volunteer as well when I was at the university. I was a volunteer in when I was in high school. I was a volunteer. This company used to have a volunteering program as well, and we used to work with underprivileged kids. So we used to go to schools, and it was like once in a month. We used to go to like a particular school in a really, really poor area in the country, and we used to spend what it was more or less like a family day. Thank you, Greg. Uh, yeah, it was like it was that, you know. So I always knew that I wanted to help people, and that is my in my nature actually. Um, and one of the reasons because they got me on board is like I mean, I don't want to sound cocky, but I mean, on my first interview, the first interview was with the managing director of this company. As you can tell, I mean, I speak, I like to speak, and I was like mind blowing, talking and talking and talking and talking, and he said like, "You know what I like is we can see that you have passion for this, and we're looking for someone passionate about helping others." Thank you, Greg. Yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I'm enjoying it. And I would like to say something. I think I had landed in the job of my life because I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. I'm loving this. Believe me. Uh, my partner can say that. I mean, when we have friends coming, they said like your face before when in your previous job, it was you were not showing happiness at all. Well, now we can tell that you're vivid again. Um, just to give you an idea, my journey in my previous job started badly. I mean, I signed up for something that it was 3 stations away on the train, but then when they moved to a new location, my journey started like I used to start at 8:30, but there were no chance for me to get there at 8:30, so I used to get there at 8. And my journey was getting on the train, going 4 stations away, and I only had 45 seconds literally to run from the train to get on a bus. So it was really stressing. So, but nowadays, I mean, I'm working from home, and eventually when I have to move to the office is walking distance, 10 minutes away from my house. So the benefits, and also again, that thing about helping others in their journey, especially, I mean, I enjoyed this, like sharing what I learned. Again, thing is like, it's like like the data life cycle, you know. I get the information from you. I'm the data collector from them, so I get the information from you, all of you, and then I share it with them. But yeah, if that answer your question,
Perfectly. I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
Tom, is there is anything, or we should get the question from
There is
George?
George, I think.
Oh, yeah, let's hear from George, but I just want to say something. Gus, it's like you and I are climbing a mountain together. I climbed up and I said, hey, let me help you up to this level. And now I feel like you're going up here. And I'm like, George, Gus, help me up to your level now. This is so great. George, let's hear from you, buddy. George.
You're mute.
Yeah, we need to hear from you now, buddy.
Sorry, is
Hi.
it George or Mary?
I knew you were gonna get me on that, Hugo. But yeah, I have actually two questions. One for Gus and one for Tom. Let me start with Gus. Um, I think I liked what you were talking about LinkedIn and how you use LinkedIn. And I think when LinkedIn came up, like it was advertised as a platform to get people connected with jobs, but like I see it morphing to something else. And actually, like how someone uses it is how you're able to kind of like get most out of it. So, like for example, it's a place where you can, like for example, I see what Tom posts a lot. Uh, for example, it's not something you'd post on Instagram and
No,
get people who
that's
are actually interested in. You get what I mean? But at the
yeah,
same
yeah.
time, for me, like being a seeker of knowledge, like I find it to be a place whereby you can be able to get a lot of knowledge, and also like maybe how you get noticed is also how you contribute. Like instead of just like looking for a job, it's more like maybe showing people what you can do. So do you think there's a need to also like create maybe courses or a way where people can teach, like especially like new graduates, because sometimes like I find some people come off so desperate for a job, and I kind of think like it misses the point. And so is it, do you think it's important to also like communicate like what you said, like you found out like you could be able to go direct to the company and just tell them I can do this, and actually they were looking for you. So like instead of maybe you could have put something like open for work and they wouldn't have found you, but like maybe is there a way, like do you think it's important for there to be a way to teach people to kind of navigate so that also the algorithm can kind of lead you to wherever you're looking for? The
Uh,
second one is just let me just ask them and then
yeah, yeah,
each
yeah.
one will
Okay,
answer them.
sorry.
The second one is for Tom, and I just was interested to find out like how long is the pipeline course? Because as much as I come to this community, I'm not. For me, my idea of AI is kind of different from the normal like pipelines and whatever. It's more about like finding ways of organizing knowledge. Like I've struggled to learn. Like I've dropped out of 6 universities because like I can't I kind of don't fit into. I find that like sometimes knowledge is taught for the purpose of doing a job, which I think is wrong. And I think knowledge is to enable people to contribute and make the world a better place. So I just wanted to find out how much more you have and how much lessons you have, and maybe if you'd be interested in having those lessons put together in maybe a platform whereby you can send somebody, and as much as you're not there, like they can just go through the lessons and maybe get a certification of some sort. And that's something I would be interested maybe to work on maybe in 2 months or something. I'd be interested to create a platform whereby you can like an Udacity of some sort for your lesson.
So what we're
Thank you.
doing, George, is Garth and I are perfectionists. We can't help it. And so we decided we would just teach, like not real polished, just show up. We're using the course to help us write the book better, and we're writing the book to help us teach the course better. But this is the first time we've taught it, and we're going kind of slow. We're recording it, but we plan to either replace or redo every one of the lectures in a second class. And then we want to keep offering the classes for free. We'll probably promote the sale of our book that way, but we're not opposed to using Udemy or Audacity or something like that. It's just that we want to wait until we've gone through a few free cycles and have really mastered the way we
No, no, no.
explain things.
I was not saying you put it on Udacity. I was actually thinking of, because I'm doing a lot of web design and doing a lot of web and cloud engineering. So I'm just thinking maybe it can be also a pet project for me to kind of like create a system that's not Udemy, it's not Udacity, but it's
Sure.
just basically for you guys. So maybe like
Oh, that's a great
after
question.
you're done
I
recording
tell you
all your
what, though,
sessions, because
so we want to keep featuring Gus. Hang on. Let's take this discussion offline. This is a great line of questioning, but I want to keep featuring Gus and what he's done today. But thank you for showing interest in that. We'll come back to that. It might be that as we grow this course, I'm seeing both Gus and Hugo being instructors in the near future, to where it's not always Garth and I teaching the lectures or the materials. But yeah, we'll talk more, George. Thanks for showing interest in that. Yeah.
Okay, so the question about LinkedIn, again, it was I mean, I started to see this. I mean, and I always knew that LinkedIn was not only for looking for connections or jobs or something like that. I mean, it's powerful to get jobs. I mean, actually, I got this job through LinkedIn. But then, obviously, when you start to search things, I mean, you have to remember, whatever you do online, you leave a trace, and obviously, that trace is start to build the algorithm. So, what I tell to people when they start to explore LinkedIn, I said, like, the person I visited yesterday, for example, I said, like, look, I want you to use LinkedIn again, because he said no, I don't need a job. I mean, I'm happy where I am. And I said, no, it's not to look for a job. I want you to open LinkedIn because there are a lot of information there. It's a lot of things are happening there, a lot of light comfort. So when you said something about like the other social media platform, so for example, my Instagram, I have 3 Instagrams. One is for my photography page. Another page is for my baking. And the third account is for my personal life, right? That's Instagram. Facebook for me is a joke. So on Facebook, I'm always teasing with all my friends and all that. So I don't. What I share on Facebook is something that I won't share on LinkedIn, for example. For me, LinkedIn is like really professional. I mean, and I try to keep a hold of a certain amount of people that, I mean, I will really learn from them. I will really get things like knowledge again, because I mean, I will never see Facebook like a platform. But I mean, things happen there, but I don't particularly see it like a platform where I will signpost my learner to say like, go there, you're gonna learn there. No, They're not gonna learn. They're gonna learn bullying, cyberbullying, and things like that. But yeah, again, LinkedIn for me recently has played an amazing key of information. And I mean, here I am. I mean, I'm a part of this community now, and I have learned. I think what's it like 3 to 4 months ago that when I connect to you, I think it was early February. I think so. And then I mean, I connected with Dan, and then I connected with the rest of you. I mean, he introduced me to this, and something that I want to share is like I was nervous when I sent him the text, and when I asked him to help me. I mean, to signpost me, to structure this thing about how I was going to approach these learners. And I remember Dad said to me, finally, the text that I was expecting to see. And then he introduced me to the data community. I got it there. I mean, it's like at some point I will put it on a picture, seriously, because that moment changed my life. I can tell you, when I received that text from him, it was a text saying like, finally, the text that I wanted to see, and all the information like links. And then he said, I have this Slack community and we have the mentoring session and all that. And I said, like, here we go. Here I am. I'm enjoying it. I've been asking 2 weekends because I told him one weekend I went away to have a Pomodoro. I went to a place in Wales in the middle of the mountains, no internet at all. Seriously, only in the place that I was staying. I was walking around the mountains and the lake, zero connection, completely lost the reception of my phone, and it was amazing. And it was a time for reflection as well. And I did a lot. I mean, I walk, fresh air. I do bird watching because my partner got into it, and I did a lot of photography as well. But yeah, my answer to your question is that go there. You have what's happening there is like what I say to my learners is you're gonna be gaining experience for people, data professionals, people with vast experience in this field. So the likes of all of you, right? Um, I like this. For example, for data visualization, and I'm stressing this to all of them. The data storytelling is something that all of you need to develop. I remember before I got this job, I received a phone call for one company that, because here in the UK, you can get jobs for like 3 months, something like that, contracts, 3-month contract. And it was going to be a massive amount of money, I have to say. And they were looking exactly for someone who was able to talk to the stakeholders. I mean, this company have senior business analysts or senior data analysts, but they were only in front of the computer. They couldn't cope with the idea of presenting results because they didn't have storytelling. And that's one of my strengths, right? So I stress that, and I signpost them to go and learn storytelling. I particularly liked this guy. He's called Ben Dykes, I think, or Brent Dykes. He's really good. I really admire him because he's focusing on data storytelling all the time. I got his book, which is let me see, Brent. Yeah, it's Brent Dykes. I got his book. It's an amazing book. It's called Effective Data Storytelling. It's beautiful, and it's that kind of books that is the story of what happened to him. I mean, he lost an opportunity because he didn't have storytelling. data storytelling. He was not good at that in the beginning. So the book started like that, with his journey, losing a really good opportunity to make progress because his data storytelling was not the right thing for him. So he started to develop that. And that book is amazing. I like to quote his book because it's a beautiful piece of evidence where you can learn. And that's another thing. From LinkedIn, you get access to all of this. I mean, if it wasn't for LinkedIn, I will never have access to People Skillful Analytical Thinkers, for example, the book from Gilbert, that is helping me a lot to cover soft skills with my learners. But yeah, it's there.
You also have to you also have to mention Tom's videos. They also
No, yeah, of course.
they
No,
also
no.
like
No, at some point, I mean, the first thing,
I think
first
the
thing,
one that got me was the one that got me was the one he was waiting for a book. And like I also find like there's a geeky kind of sense of humor that goes on in LinkedIn. But sometimes you don't get it outside, like if you're kind of a geeky person. So I also like that.
I binge watched all of them when I received his text. Seriously. And my partner was like, "God, there you go, data, rest." He said rest. Well, actually, it's that. If that answer your question,
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but that's it. That's my experience, and I have to thank all of you because you don't know. I mean, but I'm getting everything from you and bringing it to them.
Gus, do you realize a miracle has happened so far this morning?
Yes.
It's this. Hugo, I think you'll agree with me. Ngozi is here, but we haven't heard from her yet. I wonder what's up with that. Maybe she can't come off mute. I don't know. Ngozi, we're glad you're here. We know you're praying for us. Okay.
Hi. Sorry.
There she is.
You can hear I'm out and about, and it's quite noisy where I am. That's why I was on mute. Yeah, but listening, panting a bit because I've been out for a run. Yeah.
I figured it was something like that.
Yeah.
It's nice and sunny today.
Nice. Where are you? It's not nice and sunny.
Well, here in Liverpool, it's really sunny. We have 23 degrees.
It's very drizzly.
In London.
Yeah, in London.
It was raining yesterday, massively.
Yeah.
Raining
the weather is very cool today in London, but it's nice. It's drizzly even as I speak, but I'm good with it. So yeah. So nice story you shared. I'm sorry, I didn't want all these cars disturbing the view. Wow, that's nice. Yeah, that's beautiful. No, it's overcast here in London. Thanks, Tom. Thanks,
it's very sunny here, but yeah.
Yeah, it's good that you know I never keep quiet when I'm in. But that was a good story, Gus. I think I'll catch up with you personally later.
Great.
Just so that so that we can bring it home.
Yeah.
Bring it home. Yeah. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for everybody, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers in the house. Ugo, that was a nice piece you did on Tom. Beautiful.
Yay.
Ugo, that was beautiful. I haven't been on LinkedIn much. Nobody has asked why. Family, you guys are not looking out for me, but I haven't been on LinkedIn much in the past many weeks, actually. But I'll be back soon.
Sorry about that. I just assumed that it's work. I guess my bad. I'm sorry. I should have not assumed that it was work.
Yeah. I'll be back, and then I'll go on mute now so that we can hear each other. It's quite noisy. I'm just on a busy high road. Yeah. Thank you so much for the sharing, and thanks for
giving us your voice.
Tom, is that okay now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I go back on mute?
Yeah. We wanted to hear from you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it probably is a good time for us to all sign off. My wife's eager for my help on something today, so she would come say hi to all of you, but she is very camera shy. Even when we do other Zoom sessions together, she's like,
Dad,
"Don't
we
turn on
need
the
to
video."
meet her. Dad, we need
I
to meet
know.
her.
I'll make her come on one day soon. All
We
right.
need to meet her. Okay.
Bye, beautiful sons and daughters and
Thank you, Dad.
sisters and brothers.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dad.
Dad.
Bye.
Thank you.
You
Thank you, all
guys,
of you.
I'll miss you till we're back together. Take
Right.
care.
Thank you.
Before
Bye-bye.
Mary says,
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have an
Mary
amazing
says
weekend.
bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Mary. Bye,
Bye-bye.
Mary.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care, Gus.
Thank
Good
you, Dad.
job today. Really good job.
Thank you.